Hello, it's Kevin. It's Friday. It's live from lockdown. Did you miss me? Been a while. Nice to have you with me. I see a bunch of you there. Thank you very much. Thanks, Linda. I'm glad if it sounds okay. It's been so long that I've changed a lot of settings, and I spent all afternoon resetting things, and who knows? Hopefully they landed okay. Anyway, nice to be with you. I want to start by acknowledging that I sit on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabeg and the Wendat First Nations, the people of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Mississaugas of the New Credit, and the Métis Nation. And it is those peoples who have kept these lands and waters sacred since time immemorial, and it is the generosity and welcome of those peoples that continues to make it possible for people like me to be here. So I am eternally grateful for that, and I want to offer an hour of words and music in the spirit of justice and reconciliation, especially, I mean always, and especially this week, as I will say more about tomorrow in light of our day of truth and reconciliation yesterday. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Off the top today, that was a tune called October Song. It's being the 1st of October, seemed fitting. It's an original tune of mine that, I thought I'd played for you, and I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever played it. So there you go. A tune of mine that was written in the month of October. One of the very first instrumental kind of jazz tunes I ever wrote. So it seemed like a good place to start. And there are a number of different sort of rationale and reasons and organizing principles by which I choose tunes for this show, this week being no exception. But I'm particularly going to try to make a nod to the month and the season. I've spoken a couple of times about the interesting and sometimes conflicted conversations I've had about the definition of seasons in different parts of the world, but I think I'm going to stick with the stars. That is to say, think about seasons as the time between a solstice and an equinox. But we are undeniably in the season of autumn and past the autumnal equinox. So, happy autumn and happy October. October Song. I should also say that tune is an original. It's on an album of mine that I don't talk about much. It looks like this. It's called Jam, Kevin Barrett Trio, Jam. It's the first album I released under my own name, and it's, not the best, so I don't always brag about it. I had a trio that hosted a jazz jam on College Street in Toronto for many years, and that album came out of that experience, the trio that hosted the jam plus a bunch of friends, and October Songs on that one. And I'm mentioning all that because apart from being October and October the 1st and live from lockdown, it is, of course, Bandcamp Friday. And as always, if you're interested in picking up my recordings, most of you have picked up my recordings already, but I just uploaded Jam. I just put Jam on my Bandcamp page today, so there's another chance. Don't pay too much money for it. It's not my best record, but, you can hear October Song again. Keeping with that theme, I'm going to play an autumn tune. Perhaps the most played and most obvious tune of autumn, known as Autumn Leaves, which I have played for you a few times, but it seemed the right day to do it again. Written by Joseph Cosma in 1945, originally, first lyrics by Jacques Prévert, and it was originally called Les Feuilles Mortes. Another tribute to the season. But, of course, Johnny Mercer wrote the English lyrics, and it became known as Autumn Leaves. And because of the Johnny Mercer reference, I will send this out to Sam Broverman. But really, it's mostly for Susanna MacDonald, who sings a beautiful version of this tune, and I wish she was here to sing it with me. But she's not, and in as much as she's not, I'm not going to do it in her key. So, Susanna, if you're listening and you're singing along, I'm sorry. Although Susanna is such a great singer that she could probably sing it in this key too. But in the key of G, it sits a little better on the guitar than in the key of C. So, I'm going to do it in G. Autumn Leaves. Autumn Leaves, or Les Forêts Mortes. Thank you very much. Hope you were singing along with that. A little tribute to the season. Looks like you can hear me. Checking my various message machines to make sure I'm not getting any emergency messages. As I say, there was a lot of resetting going on today, and I hope things have landed okay. Yeah, let me know if you can't hear me. I also have a bunch of instruments, and I hope things are balanced all right. But that's always the gamble now, isn't it? Live from lockdown. I will remind you that I'm still graciously accepting donations to support these endeavors. There are some live gigs coming back. In fact, I had a chance to play Autumn Leaves just middle of this week. I played a Jazz Vespers service at St. Jude's Church in Oakville this week, which was quite a treat, a place I've played here and there over the years, and got asked to go back for their first Jazz Vespers in, I don't know, since the before times. And wasn't that nice? So, of course, we played Autumn Leaves. And if you're interested in, nonetheless, in spite of a live gig, there aren't many live gigs. That's where I was going with this. And it's still, we're still crawling out. It's still pretty tough. So if you are able to support online endeavors like this and you want to make a donation my way, it's much appreciated. Check the links on the side of the Facebook page, or in the YouTube notes. My links to my PayPal account are there. If you're in Canada, my email address is right along the bottom of the screen, and you can send me an e-transfer. I'd really appreciate it. Support somebody else if you like. Mostly stick around and enjoy the music. You know my spiel. Thank you very much. I have a complicated intro alert to give you. I know that I sometimes get carried away with my introductions to tunes and I talk too much, and I've been trying to work on that, but there's just too many reasons to play what I'm going to play next, so here it comes. First of all, a few weeks ago, it was maybe only 3 shows ago, but it was more than a month and a half ago when I was in Vancouver. I did an all-acoustic show, as you may remember, and my good friend Dave Lipsy asked for more acoustic guitars, and there haven't been, I haven't played an acoustic guitar since then. They've all been electric, but I thought I'd try it. So I better turn this other microphone on. So I'm going to play a bit of my acoustic nylon string guitar, and I hope you can hear it, and I hope it comes through. Because it's fun, and for you, Dave. So I'm going to do a bit of a mashup. That's going to start with Paul Simon tune, Paul Simon's Old Friends. So, of course, of the many dedications and complicated reasons to play this, there's a dedication to my sister Bronwyn, who's always asking for Paul Simon. It was, in fact, Stuart Seidel, Bronwyn's friend and neighbor in Vancouver, who first suggested doing this tune. Stuart lost his father, I don't know, a year and a half ago, a while ago, but there was a memorial just last month in Edmonton, and Stuart sent me a message and said that he had intended to recite the lyrics to this song at the memorial and changed his mind at the last moment, but nonetheless noted what a great tune it is, and he had a beautiful thing to say. Stuart says, I'm astonished that someone as young as Paul Simon was when he wrote this song could perfectly capture the feeling of becoming old. How terribly strange to be 70. One of the great lines. So for Stuart and for Bronwyn, and as well, and I noted this on a Facebook post recently, when I do this show once a month, as I've started to do, there are a lot of birthdays to catch up with, and I'm not going to catch up with all of them, apologies again, but amongst many others, my good friend Jay Bowen had a birthday in September, and I want to wish Jay a happy birthday on the off chance he's listening. Jay makes a lot of music with my good friend Keith McNair, of whom I've spoken often. Jay and Keith have a band called Old Men Music, and again in the notes on the side of the page you can see a link to Old Men Music and Bandcamp, because it's Bandcamp Friday. You could check out some of their music. Last time I heard them, in fact I played with them again more than a year ago, and we did this song. I know Jay likes to sing Old Friends, so another dedication. But really, after all of that, this is for Fern Langer. So Fern is another good friend and a sometimes guitar student of mine who often catches up in the car or later on to this show, Fern, I hope you have a chance to listen. We were in a lesson a while ago, and she had wanted to learn Old Friends, and we were working on Old Friends in Paul Simon's key. You know, old friends sat on the park bench like bookends. But you know, those first two chords we observed are the same chords as Eric Satie's Gymnopédie No. 1. What a fun little overlap that is. So we started to work on that piece as well. And you may remember that last month when Gary Elliott from Ottawa, great classical guitarist, had a birthday, I was going to do a piece from the classical guitar repertoire, and I kind of chickened out. So I'm going to try it this month. And that's how we get to this, this crazy kind of mashup. So imagine, if you will, that those two old men sitting on a park bench like bookends are Paul Simon and Eric Satie. What do you suppose they talk about? Writer's block? Unusual chord modulations and resolutions? Who knows? Anyway, here's an attempt, a perhaps dangerous attempt at a mashup of Eric Satie's Gymnopédie and Paul Simon's Old Friends, both in the key of E major, in case you're playing along. Old friends, old friends. Old friends, old friends, sat on the park bench like bookends, a newspaper blown through the grass, lands on the round toes of the high shoes of the old friend. Old friends, winter companions, the old men, lost in their overcoats, waiting for the sunset. The sounds of the city sifting through trees settles like dust on the shoulders of the old friends. Old friends, can you imagine us years from today, sharing a park bench quietly? How terribly strange to be 17. Old friends. Eric Satie and Paul Simon. There you go. Together at last. I don't think they were alive at the same time. I think Satie died in 1925 of cirrhosis of the liver or something like that. But anyway, I hope that worked for you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for indulging me with a crazy mashup like that. But it just seemed to be the right thing to do with the overlap of those chords. Now for something completely different. A bit of Yipper's mandolin time for you Yipper's mandolin people. I should say, Fern, if you catch that, let's come back and have a lesson and work on both of those pieces sometime, now that I've had a chance to figure out how they go. Oh, look at that. There's Fern right there. Hey, thanks for listening, Fern. I hope that Jack is with you. There's something for Jack coming up very soon, as you might expect. But first, you know, I think that Catherine and Freddie had a gig at Sandy Bell's. Am I right, Catherine? Did I see that you posted that you were with Freddie at Bell's last week? I hope that the music's coming back. I can't wait to get back there myself. And how exciting. So in honor of Freddie and Catherine back at Bell's, I'll try another hornpipe. I don't know anything about this one. It's called Ricketts Hornpipe, and I don't know where it's from, but it seems to have been around for a while. It exists in many incarnations with many other names. I'm going to do it in the key of D, which I think is the normal key. Oh, let me set things up here. I should go down a bit. Perhaps a sip of that. Ricketts Hornpipe in D. Louise, if you're with me, please play along. go. The Ricketts hornpipe. There you go. In spite of 3 weeks between shows, I think it's the longest I've gone between shows the last 3 weeks. Haven't been practicing enough mandolin, as you can tell. Anyway, thanks for that, Catherine and Freddie. I hope you're gigging. All of you musicians out there, I hope you're gigging. Because don't we need that? Don't we all need that? More live music. Speaking of practicing and learning, I am still teaching. I actually taught another in-person guitar lesson this week, which was pretty exciting. To actually sit in the room with a new student that just started studying with me. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in taking lessons and you're in the same city as me, we can get together as long as the fourth wave keeps calm, or I can still do that. I'm getting pretty good at that on Zoom too, so we can meet that way. If you're interested, hit me up. I'm easy to get a hold of. I made reference to all the birthdays that I'm trying to keep up with. There are a lot, but I want to list a few, more than a few people who have been part of this show or part of live music lately and have celebrated birthdays. Mike Lang in Ottawa had a birthday in September. Happy birthday, Mike. Haven't seen you in a long time, not since the special interest group was at Irene's, I think. Man, that was probably 2 years ago. Naomi Campbell, sister of the great Rebecca Campbell, my colleague in the special interest group, had a birthday this month. Ben Walker, I've mentioned, a great singer-songwriter from England, lives in Toronto, but is in England at the moment, in Britain, visiting friends and family. And Ben had a birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I hope you're continuing to celebrate Ben. Again, speaking of the special interest group, my colleague Ian D'Souza, our bassist, who's on the road in the United States with a dance company. Imagine going on the road and touring with a live show. He's doing that, and he celebrated a birthday in September. David Wall, somebody else that I've had the privilege of a live gig. David and I played a seniors home a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to do it again. So David had a birthday. If you're a live stream fan, you might have watched or at least heard me mention Michelle Rumball, a colleague and friend with whom I have also played live this month. Michelle often does a show at 5 o'clock on Fridays, 5 o'clock Toronto time, which is right when I end. So as soon as I'm done, you head over to Michelle's page. I'm pretty sure she's doing a show. I spent a bit of time with her last week, helping her with her tech setup, and I hope it's going well. I'm going to tune in and see what she's doing. And finally, Graham Laird, a great singer-songwriter and friend from Edinburgh who's been hosting sessions at the Royal Oak, had a birthday, I think, about a week ago. And Graham, I hope you're celebrating well. So there's a whole bunch. I told you, there's a lot of them. I don't know how I'm going to manage that if I keep doing this not so often, but I'll try to keep track of your birthdays. One more. I mentioned Fern Langer, my student, with whom we worked on Old Friends and Le First Gymnopédie. Fern's partner Jack had a birthday this week. I've talked about Jack a lot over the months and years of Live from Lockdown. Jack is, other than being a great surgeon, is a fantastic singer-songwriter who did an album in my studio, and we're now deep into production of his second album, which is quite exciting. And I wanted to celebrate Jack's birthday, and I was actually thinking about asking him if I could do this, and he suggested it. So I'm going to do a tune of Jack's to celebrate his birthday. It's a bit risky because I say Jack is a really great songwriter and a really great performer. And I'm going to do this for you just to whet your appetite. And you watch for Jack's next album, which I'm hoping will get out by next year. And there'll be a much better version of this tune on the album. But I love this tune. It's been really exciting. In fact, there might be two versions of this tune on the album, according to a discussion we were having yesterday. But it's a really great one. And the key of E minor. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a loop to play a solo on when it comes time for that. So if you'll indulge me while I set that up. That string just doesn't want to be in tune, does it? Here we go. This is called Pick Your Pony and Ride It. Was an angry man without a friend to guide him. Got into a tussle with the guy upstairs. Stowed away on a sailing ship where no one else could find him. On the ocean waves he stood defiant, but the storm came raging down, threw him into silence, swallowed by a whale in the depths of despair. Should he try to reach for the sky, or was he better off in hiding? He had to pick his pony and ride it. Was a simple girl who radiated kindness. Met a boy named Bob and they fell in love. They were wed on a summer day, their arms and hearts entwining. Made a life together and the sun was shining. One day across the room, another man beguiled her. She was everything she could ever dream. Should she drive into a new life and leave it all behind her? She had to pick her pony and ride her. Inside him, opens up his eyes to the frightened light. All alone he builds a home and wanders round inside it. Till his dying day he will deny it. We can choose a higher plane or fall into desire. Every second counts on the dusty road. We're all on a narrow bridge, scared and we can't hide it. We have to pick our pony and ride it. Pick your pony and ride it. Thanks, Jack. Happy birthday to Jack Langer. That's a great song that I've listened to about 1,000 times, but I just tried to play it a couple of days ago, and it's trickier than it looks to think about all those parts. So, thanks again. Jack, thanks for the great song. I hope you don't mind a little sneak preview. As I say, watch for that album to come out. It's going to be a great couple of versions on there. I mentioned when I did my land acknowledgement at the top of the show that I was going to, in particular, offer this hour of words and music in the spirit of justice and reconciliation with the first peoples of this land. Yesterday, September the 30th, was the first of a new national holiday, a day of National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, which has been instituted by the federal government. Colloquially known as Orange Shirt Day. So I'm wearing my orange shirt a day late. I didn't wear my orange shirt yesterday and had to apologize to my housemates for that, but I didn't want to wear it 2 days in a row because then I'd really have to apologize to my housemates. But yeah, a day to try to stop and reflect and think about the horrendous injustice, the brutal injustices, the brutal colonialization of the first peoples of this land. And a national day is by no means anywhere close to enough. But I hope it's another small step on the road to fresh, drinkable water on First Nations communities across this country. Can you believe that there are huge numbers of First Nations right across the land that haven't had drinking water, sometimes for decades? That's unbelievable in this day and age on this planet. Reform of the child welfare system so that children and families are supported and looked after in their own culture and their own context, as opposed to being taken away as so many First Nations children have been through residential schools and into the child welfare system in a bunch of ways that are really unacceptable. I hope it's a step on the road towards real self-determination for the First Nations, self-government, control of their lands. Slowly, that's starting to happen. We have a long way to go. We need a full and comprehensive investigation into murdered and missing Indigenous women. The First Nations have been calling for this for years, and it still hasn't happened. And you've heard me talk about this, and you know from the news that we have started to uncover evidence of mass graves at residential schools right across the country. Again, unthinkable that how many children were torn from their families, never to return. There's a lot of injustices to right, and as I say, a national day is not enough, but I'm hoping that we're on the way. So wear your orange shirts, think about those things, check some links in the notes, read the Truth and Reconciliation report, and let's try to build a more whole society. Shall we? I'm going to do a tune by a fabulous First Nations composer, one of Canada's foremost playwrights and authors, a man named Thompson Highway wrote this tune. And I learned it by the woman who sings it most often, a fabulous singer and colleague by the name of Patricia Cano. I've talked about Patricia. Here's Patricia's most recent record. I bet you can get this on Bandcamp. You can certainly get it at her website, patriciacano.com. And it's Patricia's birthday tomorrow. So in the final of my many birthday wishes, I want to say a very happy birthday to Patricia. And wish her well. And I'm thinking about her as I do this beautiful tune that she sings, but a tune by Thompson Highway called Jukebox Lady, dedicated to all of the missing and murdered Aboriginal women across the country. Jukebox Lady by Thompson Highway. Jukebox Lady by Thompson Highway. Happy birthday, Patricia. A little more acoustic guitar for Dave. Before one more tune. Thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for coming back after a long time. As I say, trying to negotiate the reopening world of live gigs and catching up on some recording and some chart writing, which means that it's good for me to do this not every week, because despite my apparent lack of preparation, it does take a long time. So I really appreciate it. And I'm not really sure the first Friday of November would be the logical next time for Live from Lockdown. I may have some gigs in Ottawa that week, which may make it difficult for me to get to you. So you're just going to have to stay tuned. I'll do my best. I will let you know once I figure out what the plan is, but I'm not really sure what the plan is right now. I will say there may be a couple of live streams with a couple of great singers in and around late October and early November. A few things to watch out for, but we'll figure it out, and I will be back. And in the meantime, one more seasonal tune. I don't really know if this is a seasonal tune. It's not a pop tune. I am going to play a loop for you and finish off as I usually do. It's a tune by Wayne Shorter from the 1960s, recorded on Miles Davis's Nefertiti album. And it's also, curiously, I thought about doing this and I didn't realize that both October Song and this tune are on the Kevin Barrett Trio Jam album. Just in case you're dying for more music, it's Bandcamp Friday. You can get it there. But this is a tune called Fall. Now, I don't know whether Wayne Shorter was thinking about Fall Down or Autumn, but he called it Fall. So, seemed like an appropriate tune to do. Again, I'm going to set up a bit of a loop. Fill your drink up if you need. Thanks for joining me. Wayne Shorter's Fall. That's not right. much for joining me once again. I miss you. I love you. I'll see you soon.